They didn't invite me, not this year, not last year, not for the past 10 years. The email showed up on a Tuesday. The subject line tried to sound happy. Whitmore Family Retreat 2025, RSVP by Friday. It wasn't meant for me, I knew that before I opened it, but I opened it anyway. Everyone was going, Camille, of course, with her husband and kids, Aunt Janine from Savannah, Uncle Roger, still wearing that silly fishing hat in every picture, even Cousin Lily, who once stole my prom dress and lied to my face about it. But not me, not even a mistake version of my name, no Carla, no Clara, nothing, just space where I should have been. This kind of being left out doesn't scream, it's quiet, constant, like a fridge humming in the background, you don't notice it, until the silence reminds you it's gone. I sat in my office in Santa Monica, surrounded by glass walls, deadlines, and degrees. I had worked hard for that corner office, but the room still felt cold, a kind of cold sunshine couldn't fix. I looked at the email again, my name wasn't there, like it had never been. I almost shut the laptop, almost. But instead, I opened a new tab. I typed in the name of the beach house where we used to go for the retreat, a big white house on the Georgia coast, porch swing, twinkle lights. The last place I saw my dad laugh, before his stroke made that hard. And there it was, a new listing, not for rent, for sale. No one told me, no group text, no phone call, not even a simple, just so you know. I read every word, price lowered, seller motivated, deed under review. I knew the real estate agent, she handled my grandmother's house too. And suddenly, I could feel something shift inside me. They were selling it, quietly, like they got rid of me, like I was just a memory to toss away. But I wasn't angry, not yet. I closed the tab, turned around to look at the bookshelf. There it was, the turquoise shell, the one my dad gave me when I was 9. You think in tides, Clara, he said, don't ever let them make you small. That's when the idea started. They'd erased me from every invitation, but I still knew how to write my own. Being erased doesn't happen all at once, no one tells you. It starts slow. One call not returned, one family photo without you, one empty seat at dinner, and no one asks where you are. At first, I tried. I sent Christmas gifts, I joined the family group chat when they still included me, I flew home for Thanksgiving, even when the flight cost more than I could afford. I offered to help mom with her mortgage when Camille's kids needed braces. I did what the youngest daughter is supposed to do, show up, stay quiet, be helpful. But being helpful doesn't last forever. Camille always got the attention, she was friendly, loud in a way people liked, she threw baby showers with fancy drinks, made matching t-shirts for family reunions, and once called me from a craft store just to ask if I liked teal or coral for the beach house decorations. I told her, I don't think I'm coming that year. She said, that's okay, Clara, we'll save you a plate. But no one ever did. After Dad's stroke, I went alone. Camille was too stressed, and Mom couldn't face seeing him like that. I fed him, I read his favorite Steinbeck book to him. When he could speak again, his voice cracked. You came, he said. That winter, I asked Mom about the estate, not for money, just to understand what would happen with the house and the trust he talked about. She gave me a fake smile. Camille and I have it covered, don't worry your pretty head. So I stopped asking. The last time I went to the beach house, the spare key wasn't under the mat. Camille said they changed the locks after a break-in, but I hadn't heard about any break-in. I stopped going home for holidays, I sent cards, no one answered. I stopped correcting them when they said I was too busy on Facebook. One day, Mom posted an old photo, Camille and Dad on the beach at sunset. I remembered that moment. I took that photo. I was standing right there, just out of frame. She had cropped me out. That was the year I stopped sending gifts. But I didn't stop watching. Savannah, my old neighbor who now works as a paralegal, kept me in the loop, quietly, screenshots, bits of emails they didn't know I was missing from. They think you're gone, she told me once. But you're just listening. I wasn't gone. I was waiting. And sometimes, the people who forget you the fastest are the ones most afraid of what happens when you return. I didn't buy the house to get back at them. I bought it because I was done pretending I didn't matter. The listing had been up for 13 days, no big family message, no warning, just a quiet link hidden in a real estate newsletter I almost deleted. They didn't even list the house under our family name anymore. It was under an LLC, probably something Camille set up after Dad died to keep things tidy on paper. I understood that kind of thing. I work in corporate strategy, I've seen that move plenty of times. But I wasn't angry, I stayed calm, focused. I printed out the documents, called a friend who works in property law. I also called Savannah that night. She ran a title check in under 10 minutes, That's when we found something surprising, a clause in Dad's old trust tied directly to me. Dad had written a backup plan. If the estate got into trouble, unpaid taxes, expired insurance, missing paperwork, I, the second beneficiary, could take full ownership of the house. The taxes were unpaid, the insurance had lapsed. It wasn't an accident, just carelessness. They probably thought they could let the house sit empty while they figured things out. But Dad had left me a way in, just in case. Savannah said quietly, "If you want the house, Clara, it's yours, no argument needed." I didn't answer right away. I looked at the turquoise shell on my desk, the one Dad gave me when I was 9. I remembered him brushing sand off it and handing it to me like it was something special. "You think in tides," he told me, "not waves. You come back stronger." That night, I opened a fresh spreadsheet. I checked everything: stock options, savings, cash on hand. I wasn't rich like Camille made herself seem online, but I had built a solid life, quiet, on my own. 2 days later, I called the listing agent. She didn't recognize my name at first, until I said Whitmore. "Clara, daughter of Thomas." She paused. "Oh, you're the other one." "Yes, the other one." I signed the purchase papers using the trust clause. No announcement, no drama. Then I logged into the booking system and reserved the master bedroom, 3 nights, starting Friday. I entered the guest name, Miss C. Whitmore, special request, please place a bottle of Perrier Jouet on ice, guest prefers firm pillows, cotton sheets, and full privacy. When I got the confirmation email, I didn't smile or cry, I just sat there, still. They had taken me off the invitation list. Now my name was on the deed. I arrived early, not to greet anyone, not to spy, just to see the house again, before they showed up. It looked smaller than I remembered, or maybe I had grown. The porch swing still hung crooked, the shutters needed paint. Someone had replaced the front lantern with a cheap solar light, but it still swayed gently in the sea breeze, like it had been waiting for me. I didn't stay long, just long enough to check the champagne, the bed, and the name in the guest book. Then I left. I parked 2 blocks away in a rental car and waited. At 6:42 p.m., Camille's white Audi pulled into the driveway. Her husband got out first, struggling with bags. The kids tumbled out, already arguing. Camille stepped out last, sunglasses high on her head like a crown. Then came Mom, in the back of Uncle Roger's SUV. She wore her usual vacation clothes, white linen, pearls, no makeup except a little lip balm. The uniform of a Southern woman ready to pretend everything's fine. They pulled their bags toward the front steps, laughing, smiling, moving fast. They had no idea what was waiting for them inside. I heard laughter and some quiet talking. Camille walked ahead to the front desk, and then everything stopped. The clerk, a young woman with short hair and a sorry smile, spoke like she was reading the weather. "I'm sorry, but none of your names are on the guest list. Are you with Miss Clara Whitmore's group?" Camille blinked, confused. "I'm sorry, whose group?" "Miss Clara Whitmore, she has the whole reservation." The name hit the room like broken glass. There was a silence, not waiting for someone to talk, but a silence that changed everything. I got out of the car then, not to make a scene, just because it was time. My heels clicked on the floor as I walked in, calm and sure. I didn't look at Camille. I didn't need to. "I can explain," I said to the clerk. "I'm Miss Whitmore. I finished buying the house 2 weeks ago." Camille's face tightened. "You bought the house?" "Yes." Mom's voice was soft and confused. "But why would you do this?" I looked at her, not angry or cold, just done. "Because I was never invited, but I was never gone." Camille stepped forward, arms stiff. "You think this is funny? You think taking over our family trip means something?" "No," I said, "it settles something." I gave my ID to the clerk. "If anyone isn't on my guest list, please ask them to leave gently," I said softly. "Their family." The clerk hesitated, then nodded. Behind me, no one spoke, not Camille, not Mom, not Uncle Roger. The silence said everything. Let them figure it out. Let them say my name. They left the desk quietly, no yelling, no storming out, just stiff shoulders and silence following them like smoke. I didn't follow. I didn't need to. They knew now. That was enough. Or so I thought. The next morning, a news van showed up. I saw it from the window, white with blue letters, parked just behind the bushes. A man in a button-up shirt and too much hair gel stood outside with a microphone. He squinted at the camera like he was breaking big news. I didn't open the door, but as soon as the story aired, my phone blew up with texts, emails, and a voicemail from an old coworker I hadn't talked to in years. "Is it true? Did you really take your family's house through a legal trick while your dad was sick?" The headline said, "Daughter uses trust clause to take family's property." They made me sound like a villain in fancy shoes. The story quoted a close family source who said my dad was confused and forced to sign everything over. No name was given, but I knew who it was. Camille was good at using other people's sympathy as a weapon. I sat quietly, didn't cry, didn't respond. Instead, I called Savannah. Time? I asked. She didn't need more. I'll send it in 15. She sent me careful, organized proof, screenshots of texts between Camille and Mom, messages that said, "Don't worry, Clara won't come again. She always makes things about herself. She's too busy showing off to care about family. Don't feel bad leaving her out. She's used to it." There were audio clips too. One caught at lunch on speakerphone, Camille's sharp voice. "Clara was too weak to survive here. Let her stay in her condo. We're better off without her." But the most important thing was a video from 2 summers ago. Dad was on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, holding a chipped mug. I was just out of the frame. His voice was soft but sure. "I want Clara to have this place. Camille makes noise, but Clara makes things last." I hadn't watched it since we recorded it. I saved it for times like this. The next day, I uploaded everything to a safe drive and sent the link to one trusted reporter, someone who wrote about elder care and family fights before. No notes, just, "This is the full story. You decide what matters." It didn't become a big viral story. It didn't need to. By afternoon, the original headline was taken down. The news station quietly fixed their mistake. My messages slowed down. That night, Savannah texted me 2 words, "They're quiet." Then a third, "You ready?" I looked out the window at the dark ocean under the moonlight. Yes. The courthouse smelled like dust and cleaning spray. I got there early, no fancy lawyer, no crowd, just me, wearing a navy dress my grandmother called steel blue, and a folder held tight under my arm. Inside that folder was everything they didn't expect me to bring. Camille was already there, wearing a white pantsuit, her lips pressed tight like a knife. She didn't look at me but kept tapping her phone nervously. Mom sat next to her, sitting very straight, her pearls shaking a little with every breath. She glanced at me once, then looked away fast. The clerk called the case, Whitmore versus Whitmore, about a fight over the house, with claims that I used pressure and trickery. Their lawyer went first, young, smooth, and talking big words like intent, vulnerability, and coercion. He called me estranged, saying it slowly to hurt. I didn't react. When it was my turn, I stood up slowly, no drama, just truth. "Your Honor, I want to show video and audio proof about the trust and what my dad really wanted." The judge nodded. The bailiff turned off some lights. The video played, Dad wrapped in his old blanket, his voice calm. "I want Clara to have this place. Camille makes noise, Clara makes things last. She's the only one who came after the fall, the only one who didn't ask for anything." He paused, then looked at the camera clearly. "It's not about fairness, it's about memory." I watched the room. Mom blinked too fast. Camille's jaw tightened. Then came the audio, a call with Camille's voice. "Let her rot in her condo. She was never part of this family. She should have been easier to control." Silence followed, not shocked, but tired and resigned. The judge leaned back, tapped his pen twice. "This court finds no reason to change anything. The evidence shows Dad was clear and knew what he wanted. The plaintiff's words show they meant to leave someone out, not by mistake." He took off his glasses. "This court doesn't fix feelings, it follows the law, and here, the law is clear." He hit the gavel. Case closed, petition denied. Camille stood up, fists tight but quiet. Mom stayed seated, eyes glassy but dry. I gathered my folder and walked out without looking back. Outside, reporters waited. One mic moved forward with a half question. "Do you want to say something to your family?" I paused just a moment, then said, "No, I already said it, just in quieter words." And I walked away. The house was quiet when I got back. No shutkasis, no voices bouncing in the rooms, just the ocean hum and the wind moving through the shutters. Inside, it looked the same, but lighter, like something had left. Noise, maybe, or denial. I didn't touch anything at first. I walked slowly, feeling the wood banister, smoothing the rug corner, letting the silence tell me what stayed and what was gone. In the office, once Dad's, then Grandma's, I opened the bottom drawer of the old desk, the one they never emptied. Inside was the wind chime we made together, seashells on fishing line, blue thread, loose knots, my 9-year-old handwriting faint on a big shell, EW. I sat on the floor, legs crossed like a kid, and started untangling it. I didn't fix it to be perfect. I fixed it because some things don't have to be perfect to matter. When Savannah came, she brought wine and paper towels. "You didn't think I'd let you in without cleaning the windows, did you?" She smiled. We worked quietly, 2 women scrubbing away more than dust, scrubbing years of being ignored. Of being the forgotten part of someone else's story. At sunset, I hung the wind chime outside the kitchen window. It caught the breeze like it remembered how to dance. Later, sitting on the porch, Savannah asked, "What now?" I looked at the horizon. They said I left, that I drifted, but I never went anywhere. I paused. They just chose not to see me. We didn't cheer or celebrate, we just sat with our glasses, watching the sea breathe. That night, I turned off the lights room by room, from the inside. If this story touched something quiet in you, something you haven't said out loud in years, you're not alone. There are more of us than you think. People who didn't leave. We were just never called back. If you've ever been erased from your own story, leave a comment, or just one word. So silence doesn't win this time. We read every one.